100,000? If somebody is having $100,000,
Now, $100,000 is around close to around 400,000 dirhams, about 380,000.
so we can use the same business models as well that we've
Obviously, with that, but you can add. I don't know why people don't invest in pharmacies or big social media firms. Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing social media digital marketing in Dubai. But yeah, one part is, so again, for our viewers, we need to understand Dubai. What sells in Dubai? Real estate sells in Dubai.
Right.
We have a $3 billion. We have a three
Sale,
billion dollar
sale,
a sale a month,
Hmm.
right? And the second biggest thing is tourism.
Right.
So we have to align our businesses according to these two things. So you're talking about a $5 billion a month transactions, tourism, leisure, real estate. If you build, your business around these two verticals, I think you'd be more successful. So let's talk about
tourism and trading.
tourism, trading, and real estate.
Real estate, okay,
Right?
yeah.
That's the two things which sells. I think so. Anything aligned to that. So let's suppose in tourism we could have, we've discussed Uber Kareem, because there are a lot of tourists who don't own the car, rent the car businesses.
Yeah.
Right. Another part is going into small. Airbnb is back. Wali, as you personally know, I actually own some apartments which we Airbnb. It's extremely profitable. There are over 50 to 55,000 Airbnb apartments in.
So this is the number.
Yeah,
okay.
number in
50 to
Dubai.
50,
55,000
Okay.
listings in Dubai. How to do an Airbnb Dubai? There are two models. You can just rent and sublet it, right? But for that you need a landlord's NOC for that. You can have your own apartment. So let's suppose anybody who come up with something like 50,000, 380,000 dirhams. So he could actually sublet two apartments for 100,000.
So they should make a real estate company.
No.
Okay.
This they take let's suppose an apartment in a one bedroom. I always say
Okay, they buy the apartment, or let's say they lease an apartment.
they lease an apartment.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I would always say invest less and then understand the business and
Right.
then grow. But let's suppose if somebody who wants to I always recommend renting a one bedroom apartment instead of two. So Marina is number one selling, or JVC is number three
In
or
terms
four.
of Airbnb.
Airbnb. So you have to look at property which is central, which has anything, a subway close to it or a taxi stand close to it. You get that apartment for, let's suppose, about 65,000 dirhams per annum, right? You don't spend 65,000. You just pay the 3 or 4 months rentals. You furnish that apartment. And now, for something I could give you real facts on Marina or Business Bay or something like that, you can could rent a single bedroom apartment in a season. When I say season, starts from October to March or February.
Right.
It goes down to something like a bedroom costs one bedroom would cost you something like 450 to 500
Right.
dirhams per night. Now we calculate over 250 days for this. So you multiply. So you would earn around about 110, 120,000 dirhams just to rent out that apartment. You minus the rent with other things, so still you'll be saving around 12,000 dollars by spending roughly half of that in Dubai. You multiply 3 or 4 times, so you would have a income.
Right.
It is a difficult thing, obviously, to do.
So
to
you're
start
saying, let's say if I have 100,000, so almost 380,000 dirhams. So minus my some of the expenses that I might incur personally. Let's talk about 300,000 dirhams that I have disposable, or 320,000 dirhams that are disposable for a year. To start with, for the Airbnb model, how many properties should I aim for in this amount?
for 300 for so let's suppose if you want to go with the sub rental and
Yeah.
rental.
Yeah.
So I think start with two,
Hmm.
then grow with something like 60,000. You pay what?
You have to take the license for
Yes,
subletting.
yes. So we there's a Dubai, not a license but an NOC from the landlord
Yes.
to do it.
And that
They
building
they'll
should be also compatible for Airbnb, something like that as well,
I
or
think Imar doesn't allow it. Every other building in
okay,
Dubai
okay,
allows that. I think the number two part is, of course, you have to register with the Dubai Short Rentals Department, which is
okay,
tourism. This is a $1,500-$1,600
right.
dirhams fee.
One thing
Fee.
I like about Dubai now, earlier, even with my this social media thing, I just came to know that this license cost is only now around 1,200 to 1,300 dirhams
Yeah, yeah,
per year,
yeah, yeah,
which was earlier a nightmare. Like it was costing me around 15,000 dirhams per year,
yeah,
just like maybe a couple of years back.
yeah,
They
yeah.
have changed a lot. These
Good
licensing
part
costs,
about Dubai is Dubai learns, unlearns, learns, and unlearns. So
yes,
they don't make mistakes twice.
yeah,
They learn from their mistakes and not just rectify it, but make it better and
hmm.
for them to understand, because they have understood the more people come to Dubai, they make business easy for people. They will invest in Dubai, and that's how Dubai is
Yeah,
made. I
yeah.
think full
License is
credits.
only for the regulatory paperwork, I guess. Otherwise, the actual money will be made through the business that
Of
is going to
course,
happen.
and the part is so this is so let's suppose somebody who wants to mortgage and buy its own property for somebody who has 300,000,
Mm-hmm.
he could buy three properties,
Hmm.
right?
With leverage, yes.
With leverage and in anywhere and start earning that minus mortgage, you'd still be saving about good 30
Hmm.
40,000 dollars
Hmm.
disposable income per annum
But
from these
having said that,
businesses.
you should still have emergency funds with you and some extra headroom so that in case anything happens, because there is a seasonality element as well with Dubai. So there is a possibility. What do you say? Let's say if somebody is coming, when should they come, or anytime is okay? Because I can see holiday home or rent, this Airbnb business also is seasonal, not all the time, like
I
in
don't say
summers.
now. I think that's a misconception now,
Okay.
because I'm talking as a Airbnb owner myself.
Yeah.
I see bookings in July. I
Oh,
see
okay.
bookings in Ramzan. I just had a call yesterday from Saudi at 4.
Hmm.
There's a customer who wants to come in July. But point is, so there would always be a market for that. I think people. There's always conferences going on in Dubai. There's always people coming in Dubai, and they want, and we need to understand why people are doing Airbnb, because they're fed up of hotels, right?
Hmm.
Privacy issues and everything. So they're easier for them to buy, to get a Airbnb, get that privacy.
Hmm.
They could come and cook themselves or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, Other concerns a lot of people ask me as to why. Uh, are there any security concerns? We've done so many bookings from last 2 3 years. We haven't seen a single problem.
Hmm.
Once there was a glass broken for about $50, 50 dirhams, and
Hmm.
didn't bother. I think we didn't had a customer who was a bad customer. But obviously, there would be people who would be making problems, but Airbnb covers that for the
So,
landlord.
let's say if we talk about two properties and somebody is doing their Airbnb, of course their scale would be less. I mean, the smaller scale. So, do they have to hire someone to look after the property, or they should do it themselves?
So Airbnb rentals, there are rental. When you charge a Airbnb rental,
Mm-hmm.
there's a provision that you can charge a cleaning fee. So a lot of
Okay.
people play with that. So they keep a rental
Yeah.
car,
Yeah.
which is low. But let's suppose on a realistic, so if you're renting out around 500 dirhams, you keep for every 2 days 150 dirhams, cleaning fee,
Hmm.
or for 5 days cleaning fee. Just call a cleaning company would charge you 120 dirhams or 100 dirhams.
And now
They
I've
will
seen,
clean.
by the way, I do a lot of real estate videos nowadays. So I've seen that a new offline properties, or the ones which are coming up now, they are Airbnb ready already, because they've got this Wi-Fi setup. They've got this locks which are iris scan, and so these things are already built up into the
It's already,
properties.
you don't have to be there welcoming
Yeah,
every
yeah,
customer
yeah.
and everything. There are people and there are management companies who manage
Hmm.
your everything for around 5% in Dubai.
Right.
Your homes to everything. You can outsource the whole operation to management companies which charge around 5 to 12% depending on what kind of services you want. It keeps your headache low. And they have already customers, so they're in charge of booking and managing everything. Money
Great.
goes into your account. Other aspect, so we need to align whatever business we do close to these two industries. I always say
Hmm.
I wouldn't recommend opening a restaurant in Dubai because
Hmm.
I've seen restaurant 10 out of statistics. I wanted to. I've opened restaurants personally.
Hmm.
It's one of the most toughest jobs is to run in a restaurant. It looks so easy, but you're dependent on other people. Statistically, 10 out of 9 restaurants close uh, within 2 years
Hmm.
of operations. 7 out of 10 restaurants closes within 1 year
Hmm.
operation.
Hmm.
So this is a very I wouldn't recommend anyone unless it's a very niche cooking or something
Cuisine
like
or
that,
something like,
cuisine
yeah,
or
yeah,
something, and you are you have that control
yeah.
because unfortunately the rents are expensive in Dubai.
Hmm.
So you have to look at that rental part. um, I strongly recommend. We will talk about it, but restaurant is a no place. So anything aligned to again real estate, you can open a cleaning company. Why not? You
Hmm.
can providing management to Airbnb companies, right? What it would cost you less than 20,000 dirhams.
Hmm.
You can open trading, cleaning company, car rental company, a service-based tourism guide company,
Hmm.
right? You can have a proper job and can have a passive income
Hmm.
from these companies. But you have to be careful. I would say always wait, research, do research, go into partnerships as starters, and then break away from
Yeah, yeah,
partnerships
yeah.
later. But
This is
you
important.
take your risks down
Right,
as well.
right. So, so this is we talked about 100,000 dirhams, and it
hundred
makes,
thousand dollars, yeah.
sorry, dollars, yes, and it makes sense about the things that you've mentioned. Let's say, and by the way, we are going to also all these things you've mentioned we can do at the same time if somebody is
Wali,
doing the
Dubai is a
job.
place where you can do business with $100 million,
Yeah, yeah.
500 billion
Yeah,
dollars.
but
But
my
let's suppose
my
anybody,
point, but
yeah,
my point was that if somebody is doing job as well, not coming directly on through from the scratch, they can also do the same thing. If somebody is already working here and want to have some side hustles, they can do the same kind of businesses that you've just mentioned,
yeah, of course.
because you don't need any compulsion or any NOC now from your employer. Sometime it
And
does.
there's a new provision in Dubai
Hmm.
which actually allows you to work part time now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you just need to have a labor card, which is different, which gives on a part time. You just need an NOC from your existing
Hmm.
line of business or
Hmm.
where you work.
Hmm.
They give you an NOC to work
Hmm.
as a part time business. You can start any time in Dubai.